This is the story of a very poor thief named Berlin who steals very smartly with his friends. The story begins with showing Berlin, whose third wife was also divorcing him, because of which he was very sad that the cafe broke. Because no one has ever made it, no one loves him. Now in so long, the Berlin team has also arrived, who take him away from the car because now they have to steal. In the team, apart from Berlin, there were 4 more locks. There was a girl hacker. There was a guy lockmust. He used to break every kind of lock easily. Third, he was a little old man. He was a professor. Very intelligent. He was so smart that he planned all the thefts that when, where and how to steal one is the sit-light man who handled the sit-light very well. Apart from this, he was very skilled in weapons and was also very good at fighting. These 5 police officers reach a very luxurious place where the rich people were having dinner. They come to a rich man and show him a fake warrant. They tell him that we have got the news that you are very expensive and smuggled expensive things. That's why we came to search your safe. That's why the rich man takes Berlin to his safe. And here Berlin tells him that we are not police officers. I am you to my paso because I mean cool. I hung up a carno. Near each other is silly what you're. Brandon gives it to her, and when she runs away, a guy tells her that you guys don't look like police officers. That's why Brandon gets angry. He takes the girl out of the house by an excuse. He makes her cry so much that he falls on her knees. He tells her to leave him. She made a mistake. Brandon tells her not to try to be smart in front of everyone, or else I'll shoot you with a bullet. I also know that you are doing all this to show your friend that you are such a big hero. You should be who you are. In front of him, stay with him with love, because there is nothing more than love in this world. After which, the next day, he goes to a hotel where he plans all his theft. Berlin includes another girl in his team who is an engineer. Someone had cheated this girl too, because of which she became a little mentally weak. Now because she had already become much better than before, that's why she had come to help him in the theft. After which Berlin and the professor tells Brandon that he is a professor and all of these are my students. We have done a research and we found out that you are under this church. So we want to dig here so that he can see that there is a treasure here or not. Hearing this, the father is very happy because if there is really a treasure here, then the church will benefit a lot from it. Father takes them to the basement and allows them to dig here. Now the truth here was that a tunnel would pass under this church, which would open up to the biggest Parisian house. After a few days, a very expensive knight's night would be held there, who had to keep their locker rooms in separate drawers, and their plan was to steal all the drawers. Well, Berlin tells its friends that the hotel we are staying in has the house of the director of the Parisian house right in front of him, who lives there with his wife. We somehow have to go to his house and install CCTV cameras in the whole house so that we can keep an eye on him. One day, when the director of the movie, Nilamigar, leaves with his wife, these people sneak into his house and fit the cameras in the entire house. With the cameras, Berlin and Professor were watching the movie. When Professor saw that Berlin was upset, he encouraged him. He said, "Don't worry, you'll find a very good girl one day. You can see us. Me and my wife. We have been together for 25 years. We love each other a lot. Sometimes we never thought of being apart from each other." By listening to this, Berlin says that he agrees, but this world is deceitful. There is no such thing as true love here. Now when Berlin was watching alone, Neela Megh's director and his wife, he sees that after his husband fell asleep, his wife took her dog out of the house. Then Berlin also follows him. When she goes to the bar, Berlin also follows her. He saw that the director's wife was singing in the bar. He liked the sound of the voice, so he decided to get it. The next day, when the church's father came here, everyone started telling him that we have found a very old-fashioned cup under your church. Actually, it was the cup that he had stolen from everyone. He deliberately put the cup under the ground so that the father would feel that there is really a treasure here. Seeing him, the father's happiness is not left. That is why he allows him to dig. Next day, the director's wife, Camille, tries to befriend her. While following her, he goes to a hotel and starts talking to her. He tells her his fake name and says that he came here to visit Paris. Last night I heard your song, which I really liked. He brought Camille's favorite book here on purpose. She sees it and asks that you read this. Burden says, yes, I like it a lot. But without giving any answer to Camelia, she leaves. Burden thinks maybe I made a mistake, so she doesn't want to be friends with me. While digging, they find the tunnel, so they start digging further so that she can reach her destination, that beautiful house. When Berlin hears about Camille, she finds out that she has had a fight with her husband because she wanted to go to watch a show with her husband, but her husband was not going. So Berlin now wears nice clothes so that she can go with him. During the prayer, the father arrives in the basement. She tells him that she wants to take the precious cup with her so that she can show her university professor that we have got this from here. Somehow he starts taking the cup from there and these people can't stop him. When Brendan found out about this, he got very angry. He tells Lockmaster that these are your responsibilities. Somehow he takes the cup and brings it to him from the father quickly. When he goes to meet Camille himself, he comes to him and asks Camille, where are you going, when he tells him that I am going to watch the show. Then Brandon also gets ready to go with him. There, Lockmaster and the engineer girl sit on the bike and leave from there. They start to snatch the precious cup from the father. When they were running away from here, then some of the father's friends come here and stop them. But as they started running away from here with the cup, then the father's friends also start following them. Lockmaster and the engineer girl now go to the parking area and get released. But father's friends find him and the cup is snatched from him. Because of this, both of them got scared and ran away from here quickly so that there would be no more trouble. When Berlin and Camille came back at night, we noticed that they have become very close to each other. That is, they have become good friends. That is why they gave each other their number. Next morning, the Lightman 655 hacker goes to the room to ask for help. He tries to befriend her, but hacker shows her that she is very strict. But inside, she also started liking the client. Now, Professor Lockman and the engineer girl come to him. They were very nervous. Professor reassures them that there is no need to be afraid, because when you snatched the cup from the father, he was very scared. So now he has secretly handed over the cup to me, saying that I will not come to the basement again. We are going to our gods. There, Camille comes to meet Berlin herself. But here, Berlin had a problem. He couldn't take her to the room, because if Camille came inside, then seeing the computer setup, he could have been caught. He tells Camille that we talk about this. I can't take you inside, because you are married. If someone sees us, it won't be good. Hearing this, Camille felt very bad. She gets angry and leaves. Seeing this, Berlin also felt very bad. That's why he also shouts behind her, the very nice wall that was made of different blocks of iron. So then the professor tells them the plan how to enter inside. He tells that first we will cut the blocks finely, then we will connect those blocks with the car with great speed so that we can attach it whenever we want and remove it whenever we want. There are always two guards in this building. One guard is inside who always stays in the control room and his eyes are always on the computer screen. The second guard is outside who sees things happening outside. First of all, they have to distract the guard outside so that the hacker girl hacks their computer system. Here, the client man notices that both the guards eat too much pizza. Every other day, he orders pizza. That's why he becomes a pizza delivery boy and takes the wrong order. After which, the guard starts arguing with him. That's why the client man also starts making him angry. Their argument has increased so much that the guard and calls the other guard to fight. And the girl who took advantage of this hacked her computer system. That means she can control all the cameras now. Now Brandon tells his team the plan again. And these people go back to the tunnel and cut the blocks of the wall with a very thin wire. They put a magnet there and put it up a little and finally come to the locker room where all the treasures are, which contain Zivrath. That means their plan was going perfectly so far. Neela 935, she could have stolen all the jewels. Now, along with the planning of this theft, the love story of Berlin also starts with Camille. He was giving half of his time to this plan, while half was given to Camille. But one day, Camille's husband sees both of them together. But here, Berlin tells Camille's husband that he is an artist and wanted to meet his wife. That's why he came here today. But after his husband's departure, Camille tells Berlin that she is scared that her husband might find out about us. Berlin tells her that where no one else except us, that's why they both would go to a hotel and spend time together, while the professor and the rest of the people would be in their hotel. Or the professor's wife calls him and says that I don't want to live with you anymore, because you don't give me any time. Hearing this, the professor gets up and gets very upset, thinking that my wife loved me so much. I never thought that she would leave me and go away. And now how can she do this to me? Apparently, the professor is very shocked by this. Then the engineer girl understands that her wife has definitely divorced. Now, the upset light man says to the lockmaster, "Tell me, where did you keep my bike? Because when you went to snatch the cup from the father, I didn't see my bike." She tells me that while we were stealing the cup, we were attacked too. That's why the bike was left there. And now I am scared because if the bike is caught, we will also be caught. The reason is that the passport on which the bike is on is real. Hearing this, the lockmaster gets even more scared and tells me that the bike is definitely with the goons of the father. The night, the engineer girl comes to the professor and says, "I know you are very sad because I myself know how heartbreak is." The professor says, "I never thought of this, that my wife should leave me one day." The engineer says that I have some other reason behind it. "Your wife is surely having an affair with someone else. That's why she wants to leave you." Yes, the professor was quite shocked, but he starts investigating this matter, where he soon found out that this is the truth. My wife has really been with someone else when Berlin and Camille were together. So Camille's husband calls her and tells her that today I was on leave and I have read all your emails. I have come to know that you are having an affair with someone else. By hearing this, Brandon was not surprised, but he was happy that now Camille will accept me and leave her husband. But Camille tells him that I can't leave my husband. I love him a lot. I can't leave you. I like you too. But I can't leave my husband because of you, because I'm just friends with you, whereas me and my husband are planning for our child. After hearing this, Berlin breaks up again, because today Camille will also deceive her, meaning even today, she didn't get true love. That's why when he was leaving from here, he calls the lockmaster and tells him that Camille's husband is a very clever person. And now I'm teaching him a lesson. Now, Camille's husband goes to the locker room in his Nilami house and put the things in the safe, but Berlin and his team were ready to steal them. As soon as the husband puts everything in the safe, the team moves forward and finalizes their plan. One by one, the things in the safe start stealing. Here the professor was upset because his house broke down, but Berlin was angry because he was cheated once again. So they argue with each other. One thing fell down by mistake, which created a voice, and this voice is Camille's husband, Nilam Igar's director. So he tells the guard to go quickly, check if there is anyone in the lockers. And when the security guard came to check, so all these people were like, they hid there quickly. The guard couldn't see them. He thought everything was fine here. They were very clever. They stole all the drawers, and they left quietly. They planned to remove everything here. They would clean it up, so that no one would ever suspect that we came here, and we stole it. Although they were wearing such clothes that their hair couldn't fall here, but they still clean it up here, so that no evidence can be left here, and the police can't reach them. At night, Bundin goes to Camille's husband's house with Lockmaster. Here he gives him a medicine and wakes him up. Then, people take out the cameras from his entire house. Then, Bundin tells Lockmaster that from now on, we will stay in different hotels and no one will go out. Because if someone comes out, so we can be caught. Meaning that for one night, they had to hide underground and live separately. Saying this, he sends Lockmaster away from here, whereas he goes to his farmhouse in his clothes, and the only thing he stole from them was a piece of locket. He spreads it all over the house so that when the police came here to inquire, they thought that Camille's husband has stolen or has helped the thieves in the theft. Now, actually, everything here is with Camille's husband. He was trying to take revenge by trapping her so that she gets trapped and her wife Camille comes to me and we both get connected the wall again. Now, after coming out of the locker room, they also weld the wall firmly so that there is no evidence left here. Then they made the whole tunnel the same as before. Then they completely removed their control from all cameras and systems so that there is no doubt of any room left. At night, the light man comes to meet the hacker girl and tells her that he cannot leave Paris for now because if the police reaches the bike, then they will. My passport will also be reached. I went to the office to steal my passport, but there are alarms everywhere. That's why I didn't steal the passport, and now I need your help so that I can get my passport. The hacker girl says that I can't go with you, but the day has been forbidden to go out. The satellite man says that, but we have to do this, because if my passport is caught by the police, then we and our theft will be caught anyway. So now come with me quickly. The hacker girl also agrees to help him. They both make excuses from their friends and go out of there. Jicky Lockmaster comes to the engineer girl's room. Engineer girl. Lockmaster asks how your finger is tattooed, on which both of them started smiling at each other, because they also liked each other. Hacker and satellite main. The hacker hacks the system and tries to get the password, but the security guard sees them and asks them who they are and what they are doing here. The hacker says that he's the new worker here. But then more and more workers come here who start answering the questions that the hacker asks. During this time, the hacker's computer starts getting errors. The same password was being used to get the wrong password. Seeing this, the guard tells the hacker that you have to restart the computer. So he sees Satellite Man who was hiding there. Now on one side, the hacker was deleting his passport while the guard taunts Satellite Man. He asks that tell me who are you and what are you here for? Satellite Man throws something towards him which made his gun fall down. The hacker quickly picks up the gun and taunts him. He lies to him that we are thieves and we are here to steal. Both of them take some money from him and run away from here. Both of them became very happy. Lockmaster and engineer a bar where many rich people were present, so they decided to steal their car from here. The security guards don't let them go inside, so they steal a couple's car and run away. Lockmaster takes the engineer girl to a place where there was a race, and this is a race of cars. So Lockmaster challenges the man who came there. He said, if I lose this race, I will give you my car. And if you lose, you have to give me. The engineer girl has also brought a stolen necklace, but the Lockmaster was refusing to do so, saying that it would not be empty if he wore it here. On which the engineer says that I have seen such an expensive locket for the first time in my life. I really want to wear it, but if you are refusing, I will wear it later. Saying this, he put the necklace in his pocket. Now in this race, girls were also standing on the car. That is, a girl standing on a car is driven at that speed. As the race started, the engineer girl had a lot of fun. When he checked, it was his old friend's phone. He was shocked and emotional. So he asked the Lockmaster to stop the car. He stopped the car without thinking, and he lost the race. The engineer girl started crying, so the Lockmaster takes care of her. The Lockmaster has to give the car to the other guy. After that, he takes the engineer and leaves. He takes him to the airport and takes him to a plane. I asked him what had happened that you stopped the car. He said that I had a call from my old friend. I started missing him and I started crying. So I had to stop the car. He told me that my old friend was a very good person. He was a very big singer and I was a fan of him. I used to listen to his songs every time. One day when that singer saw me, we became a couple. I was very happy to be with him. Everything seemed like a dream to me because the one I was a fan of, the one I liked, today I became his friend. Then this relationship grew so much that I fell in love with him. I fell in love so much that this madness started to go away, because of which I started doing weird things. Whenever I used to see his posters, I would get very excited. I would start doing weird things. Seeing all that, my mom and dad felt that I was going crazy, so they sent me to a mental hospital. She started crying after telling her story. Then the block master reassured her. He said that now I am not going to do anything to fix your mood. He starts the plane and tells the engineer that I have never flown a plane before. Today, for the first time, I am going to do this in front of you. He says this and flies the plane. Both of them felt very good. But after a while, the engineer tells her to stop the plane quickly. She did this and they both started laughing. Then when they went out, the engineer girl started checking her pocket. She says, "Oh my god, I don't have that necklace in my pocket," which means it's in the same car. The next day, when she went to the hotel, Camille also came to meet her. She said, "I like you too, but I can't leave my husband because I love him." The next day, he says, "But that won't work. You have to choose one of us." Anyway, Abak detective is hired to solve this case. She goes to the locker room with her team, but she has no proof here. They are caught. The next day, they are shifted to different places with stolen goods, like Bundy had planned, after which they had planned to meet at the same place later. The director of the police station, Neela Megal, had arrested Camille's husband because all the doubts had come on him. Now we are shown the client man and hacker girl from this team, who have made a complete mistake, tourist-like, and they had kept stolen goods in their bags, and because no policeman checks the bags of tourists, they are sent ahead. Both of them sit in a bus to go to their destination. After them, Professor, Engineer, and Lockmaster sit in a van and leave. Here, Engineer and Lockmaster played the role of siblings, while Professor was their dad. And if the police had caught them, they also had a fake raft, where they would tell the police that we are on our mother's way. The river is flowing when the bastard returned home. So the police are shocked to see this. Then the detective tells her that your husband was involved in a robbery, so he was arrested. Then the detective goes to Camille's husband to inquire, but he keeps saying that he didn't do this robbery. Camille calls Berlin and tells him everything that my husband is involved. Then Berlin encourages him to not worry at all. "I am with you." The bastard tells her that my husband can't do such a thing. My husband is just trying to get caught. That's why I will now get my husband released, who is completely innocent. While the police had also blocked the roads everywhere so that no one could leave from here. When those three sit in a van and reach a blocked place, the police start investigating them. According to the plan, the lockmaster and engineer tell us that we are going to flow our mother's ashes into the river, but the police do not believe them. They say, "Show us these ashes first, then we will let you go from here." But the engineer girl, the door and ran away. The police started chasing her. When they caught her and looked at the bottle, there was really ashes in it. Then the police became convinced that they were telling the truth. And this is how we are doing wrong with them and the dead, which the police let them go thinking. Professor Hacker calls the girl and tells that the police have closed the road in every place. So you two get off at the next stop, then move ahead and try to get out of here. They did the same. They get off at the next stop. He tries to talk to the hacker girl because he liked her, but the hacker girl scolds him. There, those three. These professors, engineers, and lockmasters park their vans in front of a house. A woman used to live in the house who liked the professor as soon as she saw him. The lockmaster calls Berlin and asks where he is. Berlin tells him that he is still in Paris. Here the lockmaster tells him the truth, that we have lost one of the necklace we stole. We have made a big mistake. We went out on the street to refuse you. I'm sure he's going to get caught soon. He gets angry at this, but he forgives him and tells him what to do next. Then he comes to Camille and gives him some money so that he can hire a good lawyer for his husband. Camille is very happy to see that he is such a good person and supporting him in such a difficult time. The police investigate and the racers reach the car driver and start asking him, "What is this necklace doing with him? To race with me." So we found this necklace in his car. We found out that the car he had brought was also his new one. Police say that tell us the identity of that girl. Then the driver says that there is a tattoo on his finger. When the wife left, the professor was still worried that then the woman in front of him came here who gives him alcohol to drink. He drank alcohol and the professor got drunk. So he immediately calls his wife and says that I have found out. You are cheating me. That's why you want to leave me. Hearing this, her wife was shocked. She said, okay, forgive me. It's nothing like that. I just love you. But the professor still gets very angry with her. Now, at a distance of some distance, that woman was also sitting. The one who gave the professor a drink, she listened to all his talks. When the girl went to the jungle to take a toilet, a poisonous snake cuts her leg. She starts screaming for help. She starts calling the satellite man. That's why he runs quickly to help her. He cuts her leg before using a knife, but he pulls out her blood. He saw that the girl's tongue was bleeding. He was very worried that something might happen to her. So he picked her up on his back and left so that he could get help. Now 2 other female inspectors are hired to investigate the case. Both of them are talking about the fact that the thief was very smart. They have stolen very finely here. They have not left any evidence here, which makes it very difficult to catch them. But whatever happens, we are holding them. Tamil goes to meet his husband in jail with Berlin. She tells him that he is his friend Berlin, who is ready to pay us money so that we can hire a good lawyer for your case, on which her husband refuses, but she agrees to his request. Only the light man took the hacker girl to the road where the police car stops in front of them when he asks for help from them. Then the police starts taking her to the hospital. The professor will return her bottle to that woman's house. She says, I have heard all your talks, your wife is cheating you. So if you want, you can be her friend, on which the professor is happy, and these two are talking to each other. The fish that the lockmaster and the engineer were catching, the police followed them as they were suspicious. The police were watching them constantly. They hugged each other. The police were shocked to see that because they said that they are brothers. Now that the lockmaster is holding his head, the police see the tattoo on his finger. The police are convinced that he is one of the thieves. Camille was his friend. Camille told him that my friend Berlin is here, which is very good. He is helping me to get my husband released. Hearing this, her friend was quite shocked. She says, this is quite strange to think about. He is your friend, but he is helping you to get your husband released. The hacker was being taken by ambulance by the police, and then the gun falls down from the hacker's pocket. The police were quite shocked to see this. Now he quickly picks up the gun in the street light and taunts the police. He said, go and sit in your car, and there is no need to do anything for us. When the professor was with that woman, he looked outside, where the police were standing in front of his van. He thought that the police have doubted us, so on the way to the police, he cleans up there so that we don't get caught, and he starts preparing to leave from here. Now one day Camille tells Berlin, look, I can't leave my husband, so it would be better for you to leave me and go away from here. Professor Engineer and Lockmaster tells us that the police came here. They suspect us, so we should leave as soon as possible. After which he calls Berlin to ask him, where are you? When Berlin told him that I am still in Paris, the professor tells him to get ready. I am coming to take you. And now because this case was not being solved, another detective is hired here. She spreads the tattoo mark everywhere, that if this tattooed person sees anyone anywhere, then he will be arrested immediately. Now her friend came to meet Camille again. She asks why all this is happening in Camille's life, and how is everything happening so quickly. Camille says that she is worried. I don't understand what is going on here, on which her friend says that I have often seen in movies that the girl's friend only traps her husband. And in your case too, I feel the same. It is possible that Brandon is the person who has trapped your husband. And now, he is pretending to help you so that he can become a hero in front of you. Camille was shocked to hear this, and she sneaked her pass from Berlin's pocket so that she could go to Berlin's room and check if my friend was telling the truth, because she had not seen Berlin's room yet. The professor also comes to meet Berlin, and they both also planned to leave from here. The police felt that all the thieves were still staying in that hotel, so they reached there to catch them, whereas the rest of the police come to their van to catch the rest, a baker. The police were moving towards the van, which had an engineer and a lockmaster. When the police started shooting at them, they also shot at them in return. Then the inspector asked them, What are your demands? With this, a speaker comes out of the back of the van in which the lockmaster says, "We want you to give us 5 minutes to think." Now here we saw that they parked their van in a place where there was a canal road under it. That means Surang. That's why she starts running on the way to Surang. While to mislead the police, they put a puppet there. And the mic was on the speaker so that they felt that they were talking on the same speaker. And now, when they went far away from here, the police also understood that they have made us crazy. They have run away from here. When the police saw that there is a tunnel here, they also went inside to follow them. Sit Light Man, both the police officers, arrested the hacker girl and ran away from here. When the lockmaster and the engineer came out of the tunnel, they saw that there were trucks standing here. And the truck that was there, they cover it with a colorful cloth and hide there. And when the police comes there and investigate, they don't find them anywhere. Camille had told his friend everything about Berlin. On this, his friend said that you call the police quickly and tell them all the truth so that Berlin gets caught and the police can arrest him. Now Camille realized that I should also check the luggage of my husband's locker. And when she started checking his luggage, she found pictures of her husband there, who was with her other wife, was going to be a child. Seeing this, Camille was very surprised and worried. She thinks that my husband was cheating on me for so many years in which I had loved so much. She thinks that my husband is so clever that he didn't even let me doubt. That's why now she cuts the police's phone. She doesn't tell them anything about Berlin because at this time, she felt more guilty than Berlin. On which her friend Camille says that now we should blackmail Berlin, and half of the things she stole should be asked for. On which Camille also agrees. Now Professor and so that when the police came to investigate, they did not find anything. The hacker and satellite man also take the police unconsciously to a boat. The engineer and lockmaster who was on the truck also walks, because of which he was very happy, because he was sure that now we should reach our destination without any hindrance. Meanwhile, Berlin calls the hacker and asks him to hack the CCTV cameras so that they can mislead the police. The hacker quickly hacked the cameras, so Professor and Berlin sit in a truck and leave. They couldn't catch him. Then they rent 2 boys' bikes. Then they become delivery boys. They cycle further. They climb mountains. They did this so that no policeman would suspect them, and their plan was successful. Finally, hacker and Sightlight Man leave the safe ship. Sightlight Man. He says to the hacker that he loves him a lot. When the snake bit him, I was very worried. Hearing this, he was very happy. And now he also expresses his love here, that yes, I also love you a lot. After which, they all reach their destination, which was the same. Everyone meets here and leave happily. These people were very happy to be successful in such a big robbery and safe. After this, we are shown the time after a few months. Berlin Camille was still not forgotten. So one day when Camille came to meet him, Berlin was very happy. And he tells him everything truthfully, that yes, I had trapped your husband, because I love you and I want to get you. There was also a friend of Camille outside who was recording these things, because with the help of this recording, she was going to blackmail Berlin later. Also, the police department was also completely unsuccessful, because somehow they could not catch them. I was sure that they would steal again. That's why the police were looking for a chance to catch them. And the next day, Camille and her friends come to meet Berlin. They blackmail Berlin that we have your recording, which we will give to the police. And if you want us not to do that, then give us 40% of the stolen money. Berlin smiled at this. He says, I stole that recording from you because I knew you guys are going to do something like this and then blackmail me. But really, I love you with all my heart. I didn't use you for my own benefit, and for me, love is not money. You are important. Saying this, he gives all his money to those two, and he deals that next time, whenever I steal, I will give all the money to Camille, on which Camille is very happy. Her love is affected. After getting the money, Camille and her friend became very happy. Here, Camille, Berlin. He was thinking about Berlin, because now he may have fallen in love with Berlin, and these two become one. After a few days, the professor came to meet Berlin, where Berlin tells him that our holidays are over. It's been a long time, so why don't we go for the next robbery? The professor is very happy to hear this. He said, "Oh wow, it's a very good idea, because I am also waiting for the second robbery to happen. Remember quickly." Both of them became very happy about this, and with this season ends here.